the big change is from that time to where we are now, and we've gone through many years. At that time, we used to say we can make it, and we really did not worry so much about what the cost would be. Because it was not available in the country, we could always sell it. And now the situation is, of course, we have to worry about, yes, we can make it, and are we competitive making it? I think that's the big gap. And for me, Atmanirbhar really means my self-confidence to be competitive. I don't think protectionism is the key to Atmanirbhar. I think the key to Atmanirbhar is how we can be competitive. And that's competitive traditionally, as I knew it, meant cost, quality, and delivery. Quality, cost, delivery, or technology, whichever way you put it. And that's what we focused on. But now it means cost, quality, delivery, of course, reliability and everything when I say quality, but also it means the environment. Are you environmentally friendly? You're doing something good for the environment. It means health. Is all your stakeholders healthy, and is it safe? I think it's a combination of all these things if you have to be in the global marketplace and be competitive. So we have college-educated talent. We have superb engineering colleges. We are making great engineers. We are making super people in the service industry who are able to write software, develop software, and they're able to sell it all over the world. I think it's quite fantastic. I think on the manufacturing side, I think we have to change our attitude towards developing talent. The attitude towards a person working with his hands, in the social attitude, has to change if we really have to change our quality of manufacturing. When we started Toyota Kirloskar Motors about 24 years ago with Qualis, Toyota has a method of checking, kind of overreaching method of checking what's happening around their factories around the world. There's some 54 odd assembly plants around the world. And the auditors come unannounced, and they come and they pick up cars from the assembly line, from the yard, from finishing part, painting, etc. And then they do an audit on them. They come without warning, they come without telling what they're going to do, what they're going to pick up. And the result of it is something called shipping quality audit. And that shipping quality audit is something which is circulated to all the factories. So you know where you're sitting in the global scenario. And when we started, we were pretty much at the bottom of that whole scenario. And one of the things we started, which we're trying to see how do we get up there, was really physical skill. And we set up a Gurukul first in the factory, which was reskilling all the employees, reskilling them, things like even strengthening the fingers. How do you pick up nut bolts? How do you tighten a bolt? How do you, many physical skills to do it without hurting your body, without getting tired. How do you identify issues on the shop floor? How do you feel the weight of something? When I tighten something, do you know what the torque is in your hand? That kind of stuff. And repeat training of this. This was the first thing. And the second was we started an ITI for the new students coming. 3 years residential ITI. We take 64 very poor children a year. And training out there. That training also compromises, I think about 30 or 40% is only skill. The rest is mind and body. But when we see, I have a chart somewhere. I used to keep that chart and show it to people, where there's a direct relationship to the hour of training, number of hours of training, skill training, to our position in shipping quality audit. And the number of hours of training, and now we are amongst the top 1 or 2 in the world in shipping quality audit. We are one of the few Toyota plants around the world who has this kind of a Gurukul and a ITI within the plant. basic purpose should be enhance your customer's experience, number one. Okay, and now let me explain what I mean by customer. We can look at an overall customer, enhance the customer's experience for competitiveness. He gets a better product, he gets better service, he gets on time, he gets the information. His comments or his ideas on the product are reflected back in the product as fast as possible in future products. He remains with you. How do I retain the customer? More important than getting a new customer. So I think these are the things digitalization should address. Number one. Number two is it should make sure what you are doing will be better than what you are doing without digitalization. Don't just digitalize something you're already doing. You should digitalize something. When you put that kind of investment, your output should be far better than what you were doing before. It should not be just that I get a nice picture in my hand to look at and talk about. The customer should feel the difference. Now you can look at a customer at a company level, or as we talk of supply chains and value chains, there's a customer. If I break the supply chain into small factories, there's a customer for every part of that supply chain. And a good way, I believe, to look at it is to enhance the experience for every customer in the chain. So if I'm supplying a machine part to the assembly, how do I enhance the experience to my assembly customer? And what do I do in digitalization to ensure I meet his requirements in a far better way than I used to, in a far more competitive manner? I think if you take this across the chain, that's a good way to start digitalizing. It also pushes the decision making to the people at the spot of work where the action takes place. It puts a responsibility on him. It also gives him the entrepreneurial spirit to use digitalization to make sure he delivers to the next one. And then you can do it right through from the start of the raw material, to 5-year warranty claims all the way through. And we need to do this digitalization all the way through. Basically, I think the focus should be customer gets a better experience, finds a better value, is willing to buy back from you and willing to pay for it. That should be the ultimate of the digitalization experience. Even in the shop floor, I think one of the things we all know and we talk about is OE, overall equipment effectiveness, multiple of quality, productivity and availability. And your digitalization, or whether you use IoT and connect your machines and all that, it should do better than the best possible without IoT. We do need to have a better relationship with engineering colleges, not just the IITs, but the local engineering colleges as well, to challenge them on what they can do in terms of R&D. And I think that's a long way to go, especially at the local engineering college level. I think there are resources, I'm not talking of money, but I think there are resources in terms of skill, knowledge, facilities. It's still a long way to go, and as well as aptitude to do that kind of research. But we'll have to keep pushing as industry with the regional engineering colleges and the engineering colleges in your own area, how to push them to do more R&D for you and get a sense of what R&D is. We try to work with a couple of our local regional engineering colleges and try to support them with projects and things like that. I always think small projects which work successfully is a good way to start, rather than you have a vision. Yes, I have a vision that industry and academia should work together well in the long run. But are there small projects in individual companies which can be successfully done between a college and a company? I think pushing those and making those marketable is a better way to go. It sells the next project. That's what it should be. circular economy, I've, few years, I think 7-8 years ago, while we were going through our 5-8, how do we reduce our operational costs significantly and in a big manner? And we started working on our entire environment, removing waste, etc., but on our whole environmental profile, what is happening. Starting with energy consumption and how to reduce energy consumption. So we did a lot of activities on reducing energy consumption. We've gone to about 97, 90, most days it's 100% is renewable power. We're running a car factory on renewable power. And the same thing with water. How do we reduce water? It's something else we buy. We ended up, we've stopped using government water anymore except for the canteen for various psychological reasons. But everything else is recycled or rainwater harvesting. Also worked a lot on emission of solvents, VOCs. And then you end up reducing the solvent use only. I have a big problem. We stopped using oxygen almost completely in our manufacturing processes. The whole attack, our whole work with the environment, more than 97, 98% of our packaging material is recyclable, is reusable, not recyclable. We don't use packaging at all. It comes in pallets which are folded and go back to the customer. Same thing on the service parts. So it was a huge saving for us. Actually, it brought our costs down tremendously, and the investment was nothing. Going to renewable power, almost 100% renewable power, no fresh water, zero VOCs, completely, reusable pallets for delivery and arrival of material, all this kind of stuff. So I believe that the environment can be, it's a two-way thing. You're good for the environment, you reduce your carbon footprint, as well as it saves you money. I believe every time you reduce your carbon footprint, you save money in manufacturing. And that's what we must focus on. The investments are not high. A lot of it is relatively simple investments, not big technology either.